Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Hillbilly Horror Review. We got another film we're going to review. It's not just going to be a film movie review. What we're talking about in this episode, we're talking about pretty well known horror films that are based on some actual true events. I guess if that's what you call it. So what we're talking about is the 1983 release from the author Stephen King, Christine. Everybody that likes horror movies, and even if you don't like horror movies, you've probably seen the film Christine. It's a pretty awesome movie. It made me fall in love with old cars back when I was growing up. The film actually featured a 1958 Plymouth Belvedere that was a red two-door car, sharp car. So the premise on this whole the entire story is, from the get-go, from the opening credits, Christine was actually killing people from the day she was assembled, and then she got turned loose out to the public and went to California. And we don't know a lot of the backstory. If you've read the book, you can follow along with the backstory, but I'm just talking about the film here. But if you've just watched the film, you don't know a lot of the backstory. The previous owner, the next owner's daughter died, and some other family members died, and then the guy that actually owned Christine, he finally passed away. He killed himself inside Christine, and the brother ended up selling the car to Cunningham, which is the one of the key figures in this film. But that's not what we're talking about on this episode. We're actually talking about the real life car that Christine is based on. It's supposedly the car to where Stephen King got his ideas to come up with this film. That's right. There is a real life Christine car. It's a different car altogether, but that's, being from New England, from Maine, I guess Stephen King had heard this story and he wanted to put pen to paper or put it down on paper, and he abducted this true story into his novel, which then became a TV movie, or a hit movie rather. So the car we're talking about is a 1964 Dodge 330 LE edition, which it's a four-door. It's a four-door grocery getter, guys. And the car's name, they call it the Golden Eagle. So let me tell you a few facts about this car. This car supposedly has a real-life kill count. That's right. We're talking about real shit right now. I mean, can't hide the truth if it's on Wiki. So the Golden Eagle was actually purchased by the Old Orchard Beach, Maine Police Department. And it was used for a patrol car, a police car in Old Orchard Beach, Maine for some time. And what was going on with this car, officers that had a connection to this car over time, after I think like the third set of victims, 3 of the officers that had been issued this car to drive around on duty had killed their family and killed themselves. And then it got to the point where none of the cops, nobody wanted to drive this car around. So then they decided they sold this car off. They didn't want it no more. It had too much bad juju, I guess. And I'm going to be posting some pictures up here. That way you guys can see what it looked like in its heyday, in its prime. So the car got sold off, went to another family. There's even some rumors that later on a fire department ended up getting this car. They used it for fire department related stuff, and they even had some bad things happen there. And then eventually the Allen family ended up purchasing this car, and that's where the story starts getting pretty wild. And I just have to put out there that the lady that's involved, that still supposedly owns the car right now, she calls herself the Sea Witch of Old Beach Town. That's kind of what we're dealing with right here. But some of the facts are actually there. You can actually find some of these facts where there's been a couple of situations where where people has tried to vandalize this car. One person that vandalized the car, he actually got hit by a tractor trailer 18-wheeler. Another person that vandalized the car, he got struck by lightning. And been a few people that has been driven around in the car. One lady actually, the door mysteriously came open while they was driving it, and the lady fell out. The passenger, the girl riding as a passenger, she actually fell out of this car while it was going down the road, and she ended up dying. So there's a lot of stuff like that, and if you do your research, you can find where some of that stuff actually happened. Supposedly, the car has 14 confirmed fatalities linked around this car, but they say, from what research I found, it could go as high as 36. But some of those numbers, you just can't, they don't want to claim those other numbers because you can't find, there's no evidence or anything like that. But there's at least 14 different deaths tied in with this one car. It even got to the point where a local church knew about this car. Members that went to this church knew about this car. So they decided to steal the car. They was going to get rid of it. They stole the car. They took it to a junkyard. The junkyard was going to crush this car. They put it in the crusher, and the crusher got struck by lightning. So they had no more crusher. It stopped working. It destroyed the crusher. And the people at the junkyard, they said, we don't want it. I guess maybe they'd already heard some of the stories involving this car, but they was going to give it a good old hillbilly try. They was going to try to destroy this car, but once the crusher got struck by lightning, they didn't want no part of it. So the Allen family ended up getting this car back, and then a few years later, another church group decided to steal a car. They stole the car, and they pretty much started taking parts off of it, and they was sending parts all over New England just to dispose of the car, the parts. The Allen family again got this car back, and it's rumored, she has said that she still has the car. It's just that one day she'll have the money to put the car back together again. So that's what the deal is with this car. It was like I said, it was a 1964 Dodge 330 LE edition, 4-door car, nothing special about it. And the reason it's referred to as the Golden Eagle, well, it's named the Golden Eagle. When the Allen family bought this car, they painted it like a gold-looking color. The car didn't come out that color, but they had it painted like a gold-looking color. I guess some kind of cheap paint. But then the name Golden Eagle kind of stuck with it, and that's what they named it. So it wasn't at all like what was portrayed in the Stephen King movie. But to me, this car here, the Golden Eagle, it's a hell of a lot more creepier than the Stephen King film. So that's what we're looking at. Like I said, I'm going to throw some pictures up. Do your research. The Golden Eagle, Maine, or just look up the car with the most confirmed kills. The first thing that pops up is going to be this Dodge 330. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff, but that's all I have for you today. Stay tuned. I'll keep coming up with some more stuff that kind of crosses paths with some movies and some real life stuff. Thanks for watching, guys.